out of this worlds. We are sparks, energy beings from the circle of life, uncovering the untruth to reveal the unknown. Tanaath regarding the universe killers. March 16, 2015. The universe killers. When I first discovered this situation, both I and those I worked with were convinced it was not possible and that it couldn't be real. We are still looking for any evidence that this situation might not be the case. Unfortunately, all we've been able to get is evidence that it is indeed the case. I can't go into the details, but suffice to say I have been convinced despite not wanting to believe this and doubting it a lot at first. And it's so inconceivable to most people within the universe that doubting this is our first instinct. I have come to realize that this scenario is most likely the case. The available evidence that we have at all levels indicates that this is most probably true. Anyone who starts to take the notion seriously all of a sudden gets shut out, among other things that I can't talk about. Yes, in this cluster of universes, war exists at all levels. Tyranny exists at all levels. There's no level up and you're done. No, this is not the case in all other universes. Like I said before, there is a group of professional universe killers. They infected this multiverse system with the imbalance or disease which permits that kind of tyranny to vie for control over societies, planets, galaxies, and universes. When left to their own devices, universes don't typically develop those types of pathos, or develops them only in isolation and tend to be self-limiting. It's like candida. A healthy body will have some candida and it won't be a problem. It's impossible to be 100% candida free all the time. But as long as a body has the other supports for health, the candida will never be a problem. Adjust a few subtle things in the body and the candida grows out of balance and begins to be a major health threat, and allows other, more virulent diseases to thrive, which in turn damages the body and enables the candida to grow even more. The branch our universe is on is infected. This is one leaf on a diseased tree. The nature of the disease at the higher level created leaves with weak stems, easier to be lopped off and dropped. This is how it can be that one planet and even a few individuals can hold the fates of a universe in their own survival or death. That's our stem. You don't believe a disease can do that? There's a fungus that takes control of the body of a fly to make it crawl as high as it can before exploding its spore-filled head, in order to aerially disperse the spores to other flies. Diseases on this planet are capable of shaping their hosts to their benefit. As above, so below. Everything is a fractal. Speaking from a macro perspective, we have two options: lop off the branch and hope that we can somehow isolate the rest of the tree from the disease, or destroy the cause of the disease and heal the branch. Lopping the branch off means that we all cease to exist. Me, you, everything from about 136D down, which is the point where the infection starts. Needless to say, I don't like that solution. It's rather permanent and rather fatal. Losing this universe but saving the rest of the branch is also something I'm not exactly eager to see, for many of the same reasons. The tree will survive even if this branch dies. This problem, though not this particular disease in this particular configuration, has occurred before and either resolves itself internally, red, the infected universes cure themselves, or the tree tenders destroy the branch to kill the disease and stop the spread. The second option is to somehow stop the spread from the inside, cut off the predators, and either starve them out or destroy them. Push out the disease, then kill its reservoir and clean and heal any infected universes. This is what we are trying to do. But it's not exactly easy to do. For one thing, this disease went uncaught by the tree tenders for a long, long time. This allowed it to shape ideal leaves for harvesting, which has in turn provided it with lots of raw material with which to strengthen itself and improve its technique. We are working at a disadvantage. The conditions favor the aggressor, the enemy. It is possible to succeed and to win. The initial precondition for victory was simply discovering that this disease existed. We got the word out up the tree as to what was going on, and the rest of the tree is being reinforced against this. This disease will eventually run out of material and die off. In the meantime, it's still entirely possible for the weak, sick leaf that is our universe to fall off and die. So we have won the greater war. But we could still very much lose the battle here. And yes, it's possible to tie the existence of things the size of universes to individuals, without them being manifestations of a particular source. It's difficult, but it can be done and has been done. And no, these individuals don't get any special powers or anything like that. It's all the pain with none of the benefits. These individuals, if they had the option, would gladly be unhooked from this so they could live their own lives instead of always being a pawn in someone else's game. The timelines where we fail to address the situation, the tyrannical timelines, those are the realities and timelines when the leaf falls and dies. Some of the positive timelines we also fail. They appear to flourish for a time before suddenly and unexpectedly collapsing for reasons that the timeline scryers can't understand. But there are timelines where success is possible. In order to achieve them, we gotta keep these people alive and breathing until some kind of change, whether it's a victory against the cabal or something else, enables them to be evacuated to the point on the branch where the hooks tying them to the will can be removed. Alternate universes and parallel universes are a tricky situation. There is one point where they all attach to the branch. If that is lost, even all the alternate and parallel universes are lost. We are currently that point. The reality we experience as real, the timeline we live through and perceive as ours, is the connection one. This is why it's so important that we succeed here. If we don't win, there are no more second chances. The other timelines and realities have already been lived by us. When timeline viewers look at timelines, they are looking at iterations of this universe that we have already played through. We managed to get a lot of second chances before the leaf could be severed. This information wasn't handed to me by my contacts. They didn't even know it existed. We stumbled upon it by accident. And by we I definitely include not only myself but a number of other incarnates I work with. Not just upstairs. In fact, it was so well hidden that it seems only people down here in this context stood a real chance of discovering the situation. The source of the disease, the ones who engineered the situation, were expecting that their control over the surface would be tight enough to prevent anyone from cottoning on. But it happened and we found out. Now we actually stand a chance of fixing the problem. Not a big one, but a chance. And yes, all of us who were part of the discovery could not believe it at first, because it wasn't supposed to happen. There were supposed to be checks and balances higher up the tree to prevent this kind of thing from occurring. But somehow the antivirus was fooled into not seeing the problem until we went high enough to insist no, there really is a problem, and one of the tenders could take a look and see that we were right. On the matter of the congruence between contactees and their contacts, a lot of it has to do with the subconscious filter of the contactee. I'm able to perceive distinct personalities in my contacts. But what comes through me to others gets filtered by my personality, and my state of mind. It doesn't mean that my accuracy is poor, it just means the information is flavored by me. There's certain subjects I can't get information on, period, because my own fears or mental state precludes being able to hear it accurately. The public never sees the backroom that goes on in any contactee/contact relationship. They see the public persona, and the information that is put across is going to be modified for the needs of the audience. Things may be omitted or not dealt with in public, for a variety of reasons. In my case, if I don't address something, it's because it's either operational information, or it's something I can't get enough information I feel confident on to speak about it. Believe it or not, I do engage in a fair bit of testing. If things fail my test, I don't include them. If I previously included them, I'll distance them. This is not a matter of me just swallowing what I'm handed by someone else without examination or question. The material I am confident in is derived from my own experiences. The information that comes from others is always potentially inaccurate, either in the material itself or my understanding of it. I can only really be sure of that which I experience myself. So I do understand your disbelief. You can believe or not as you want. I know what my experiences have been, and whether you believe or not, I still had them. I must act according to what I feel is the best course of action with the best information that I have available to me. The information I have available to me suggests that there is more to this situation than merely collective consciousness and that intervention is required if we want to survive. Nor have I been standing still. I, and others I work with, have been involved in doing what we can to change the situation. I have absolutely no patience for any discourse which encourages passivity or waiting around for problems to magically solve themselves. And unlike many upstairs, I am fully able to perceive time and the fact that we are working under an unknown time limit, which is likely shorter than most ET estimates can produce. Yes, we can succeed down here. But the more we wait around for the next generation to fix things for us, the less likely that will be. Are we on the verge of a great renaissance of humanity? Yes, it's a possibility, if we can succeed. If we succeed, that is exactly what will happen, and if I survive to see it, I'll be grateful. I don't preach. Whether someone believes me or not does not affect my success or failure. I state what I understand and have confidence to be the case when I state it. Sometimes that changes as new information becomes available. Despite what some channelers would have you believe, no one is omniscient. The honest players give you the best information they can at the time, as they understand it. The dishonest ones feed you whatever lie they feel will convince you to maintain the status quo. Things change. We learn more as we go, even upstairs. The understanding today could be completely changed tomorrow. This is life. At the time, to the best of our understanding, the window for ascension would be up in 2016. Now, we don't know. There are possibilities in which ascension does not occur. Most of them result in failure. Is there a chance I'm wrong about all this? Of course there is. My experiences and the information I have access to indicate this is unlikely. But there is always a possibility that I and the people I work with are missing some key, game-changing factor, preferably one that makes victory more certain. I'm not going to count on it. And I don't trust people like Treb. Once again, if his information helps you personally, that's great. Benefit where you can. But asking for information on our behalf is going to be futile because Treb either doesn't know or is working for the other side. All he can give are vague statements that give no true explanation or solution. We are getting farther dealing with this problem on our own. Getting the ET or Terran equivalent of, well, have you tried kicking it a few times? Maybe it's a design feature, from the uninvolved over and over again is frustrating. Not the least because yes, we have indeed tried kicking it a few times. And if it is a design feature, then seriously this universe deserves its fate. And yes, it's entirely possible that the collective consciousness is involved, but it is clearly not likely involved in the straightforward way suggested by people like Treb. If the collective consciousness is involved, it is because someone or something is deliberately harnessing the energetic potential from the great programmed masses and using it to construct a barrier, which would look, to the uninitiated, like the collective consciousness is keeping people out. In truth, it would be more refined than that. As I have said, we have ample evidence of conscious and deliberate direction of this blockage. That indicates that the simple natural collective consciousness or even manipulated public opinion is out as an explanation. That leaves us with three options: change the masses to wake up and thus negate the use of the collective ignorance, functionally impossible without proof, which is precluded by the fact that we are being excluded from surface work and therefore only have access to fringe groups that are already awake. Figure out how this effect is being produced and counter and slash or destroy the mechanism, or stop the ones doing it and somehow take control of the mechanism itself and use it to keep out the bastards and let in the good guys. As for taking a break, it's not upstairs I need the break from. It's the frustration and lack of meaningful progress down here that I need a break from. It's that frustration that contributes to my bad mood. Tanaath. Share this.